Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. This is your RCWA Fangs for the Memories review show from this past Saturday's show over at the Harris Academy in Raynham. And I said this to a good friend of mine, Taylor James, yesterday. By far, or not by far, but quite possibly the best RCWA show that I've been to bell to bell since I really started going a good couple of years ago now. Tremendous show Saturday. Not without its controversy, not without nearly a serious injury, which we'll get into in a minute, but most importantly in all that, not without some fantastic action as RCWA always delivers. Now, the start of RCWA, the GM herself, Sue Osprey, comes out and has some unfortunate news for us. The main event of the show was supposed to be Kelly Six defending the RCWA Championship against Mike Bird, against Taylor James, and against Paul Robinson. Now, what Sue Osprey did advise the crowd is that unfortunately Paul Robinson has sustained torn biceps, sorry, not triceps, torn biceps. I think he tore the bicep off the bone. Um, has undergone surgery and wouldn't be competing in the main event this evening. However, what she did say was a suitable replacement would be named later on. She had to go and cross the I's and dot the T's to get that done. More on that in a minute. But she also did make a point in saying that Taylor James has always gotten the help of the rebellion, being Tall Tom Mercer, or being the big steppers, Harry Hot Dog or Harry McDonald, as she calls him, and Ryan Curran. Now, she made a point in saying that the rebellion will be banned from ringside during the main event, so no rebellion at ringside. The aforementioned hot steppers, however, would be in action as we open the show. It would be Harry McDonald and Ryan Curran. I wasn't sure if they were defending the tag team championships because that wasn't necessarily announced, but we're going to say defending the RCWA tag team championships against the 411. 441, 411, can't remember. Anyway, Cameron Kai and his tag team partner for this show, anyways, Jaden Williams, who actually, if you're coming on here on Wednesday to listen to our DKW review show, will be in action there, as will a couple of other names we're going to mention on this show this evening. Now, this match was a great fun way to open the show. All four men are great singly. Harry and Ryan have obviously been a team longer because this was the first time Jaden and Cameron Kai had been a team. And I think eventually that show, the action spilled in and out of the ring, was a really fun tag team opener. But eventually, the experience, albeit from two young guys, but the experience of being a tag team ultimately paid off as Harry McDonald and Ryan Curran get the job done. And like I said, retain the tag team championships. But as Sue Osprey said, see ya, bye bye. You're gone from the main event. So they will switch off. But hopefully, we'll see more of Jaden Williams and Cameron Kite at future RCWA shows. Extremely talented men, both of them. And to be fair, I was going to say Harry Maguire. Harry McDonald and Ryan Curran are definitely not to be slept on. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of them two, not just at RCWA, but at promotions up and down the country in 2026. Now we move on to the next match of the evening, and this pits the man on my right, Danny Izzet, against Cameron Kai. Kian Cameron. I get them two mixed up, you know. This is Kian Cameron. So, this was a real contrast of styles. Danny is very much a great technical based wrestler, has some great moves. Kian is very high flying, very speedy around the ring, and ultimately, This is going to make for an unbelievable uh, match, and it certainly did. And the match itself was quite incredible. We had a lot of high flying stuff from Kian, a lot of great technical based stuff from Danny Is some really good, solid wrestling, and this could have gone either way. This match, I really thought it was enjoyable. Unfortunately, the match come to a premature and quite frankly, shocking ending. Now, look, we all know that wrestling its characters, its entertainment, but the moves in which these guys put on are very, very real and a scary moment at the end of this match as Kian done his hands spring into the ropes. I think he was going to do a comeback and do a cutter. Danny caught him into a German suplex. Unfortunately, it landed Kian pretty much sort of head first on the mat. It looked absolutely awful. Keane was stricken on the ringside, at ringside, sorry, on the mat for quite a while without moving. We didn't obviously didn't know what was going on. The RCWA did do the best thing that they could have done, which was got everybody out of the ring so people can attend to Keane to make sure that he was okay. The good news is, as we were leaving, he was sitting up, which is obviously a positive sign. And obviously, medics attended to Kian whilst we was outside. Now, the good news is that Kian is absolutely fine from that accident. But it does give you a real realization that things um, in wrestling are very difficult, and sometimes a split second, you know, issue like that could cause severe injury. And fortunately enough for Kian, it did not give him a severe injury. It did mean the referee did throw this out. Now, I'm not sure if this was a no contest or if it was given to Danny. I'm unsure at this point. We're going to rule it as a no contest on here on hitting a turnbuckle. But what I would say and what I would hope is that we get to run this match back at a future RCWA show. I know both of them will feel really upset about how the match ended. Danny, because obviously of that move, and Kian, because he couldn't actually finish the match. And that's never the way that we want things to end on a wrestling contest. So great news that Kian is okay. And like I said, I hope RCWA run this match back in the future so we can get the ending that we should have got during Thanks for the Memories. Now, the crowd needed a bit of a pick me up after that. And what better way to have a pick me up than CPF? Now, this was kind of a brand warfare here. CPF were going against three guys from Catch 22, quite not far away actually from Raynham, over in Lakeside area, Chapel 100 area. This was a really fun match, a really good match, a really good pick me up on this, which was really what the crowd needed after all of the issues that we had there with Kian and that kind of scariness we need. This was a Halloween show, right? But we didn't want to be scared in that way. That's for sure. But we needed a pick me up, and that's what we got here. Now, to be fair to the Catch 22 guys, I'd never seen them before in my life. Jake O'Grady, obviously, it was Alex Lockhart. Who now listen, if a wrestler embedded a character, because that's what wrestlers are, a lot of the time they're characters, right? Lockhart is definitely one of those guys. He was brilliant in this ring. I really enjoyed watching his antics at ringside. He's definitely one that portrays a character so very, very well. And obviously, you had him, you had O'Grady, and then you had Bauer, who's a big old brute. So you kind of had three different individuals in there with CPF, who again, experienced team, been around the game long enough. But then Catch 22 guys held their own in there. And for quite a lot of this match, CPF were on the back foot. But eventually, like I kind of said with the Rebellion, McDonald and Curran, the experience pays off. And that's exactly what happened in this match because eventually CPF get the job done to the delight of the crowd. There was a lot of kids in attendance. There was an 8th birthday party in attendance as well. And they loved CPF. Everybody loves CPF, right? Whether it's Backstreet's Back at these shows, they have a different theme when they're the Revolution Pro shows, but nevertheless, it's always fun to see CPF, and they always deliver, and they absolutely did. RCWA, no doubt, wanting those tag titles back, from the Hot Steppers. We'll see if that happens in the near future. But I mentioned Rebellion. And this certain member of Rebellion was next. This was Tall Tom Mercer, or as he likes to say, Tom Mercer, baby. And he decided, listen, he was out there, he was in a good, confident, arrogant mood. And you know what? He threw out an open challenge. Tom Mercer, 6'8", 6'9", big old boy, throwing out an open challenge. You'd kind of have to be a little bit insane to accept it. But Mercer is a very, very confident individual. So when he done that, we were wondering, well, who was it going to be? And all of a sudden, Isaiah Jackson appeared. He's from San Antonio, Texas. He does a lot of the UK stuff, and he's a very exciting prospect. That's for certain. Um, However, there was a size difference here and a power difference, to be honest with you as well. And every time Zaya tried to get things moving, Mercer would just strike him down and strike him down. And to be quite honest, Mercer did make quick work of Isaiah Jackson in this match. It didn't last long before Tom Mercer planted him and got the victory 1, 2, 3. Now, you would say at that point, his job is done. He's done for the evening. He gets paid regardless of whether his match is 6 seconds, 6 minutes, or 6 hours. But no, Mercer decides he's going to treat everyone in attendance to yet another open challenge. He was asking for double pay from Sue Osprey. I don't quite think that happened. Maybe he will tell us differently. So he gave us another open challenge, and this one was answered by certainly one of the most exciting wrestlers on the scene right now, Ted Saban. You sometimes see him with Jack Landers in a tag team. You will do that if you're coming to the Ignite show on November the 23rd. But again, Ted Saban, Tom Mercer, it's kind of like that in size. But Ted Saban, on the other hand, this is no disrespect to Isaiah Jackson anyway. Ted Saban hits hard for a guy that's going to be relatively small compared to Tom Mercer. And he gave Mercer a hell of a contest in this. I thought at one point Ted Saban was going to get the job done, but unfortunately, like the first match, Mercer plants him for the 1, the 2, the 3, and Mercer picked up 2 victories in one evening. But this brought out Sue Osprey. And Sue Osprey mentioned to Mr. Tom that, Tom Thumb, as he was being called by Sue Osprey, that she mentioned that as Tom is really confident about taking on multiple people, that he can be in the 12 Bumps of Christmas Battle Royal that they're having on December 20th back at the Harris Academy. He can be in that match, but he can be in it at number 1. So Mr. Mercer will have to survive, will basically have to run the Rumble Gauntlet in December in order to get the win. So will he be Shawn Michaels or will he be Santino Marella? We'll have to find out December 20th at the Harris Academy. Make sure when the tickets go on sale, you get those tickets because it's going to be a fun, fun show. But also, Sue Osprey said, as Tom Mercer is a member of the Rebellion, see you goodbye. You're not allowed now at ringside for the main event of the evening, which comes next. It was Kelly Six defending the RCWA Championship against Mike Bird, against Taylor James, and the fourth member, which Sue Osprey managed to get the deal done. And Maverick Mayhew comes out to be the fourth person. This match was bananas. It was absolutely crazy. It went everywhere over the Harris Academy. At one point, Maverick Mayhew nicked our water to spit at Taylor James. Taylor James cowered behind me when I was filming the match, which will be out on YouTube. I don't know if you hear Taylor, but he does mutter some things behind me at the time. But it goes everywhere. It goes over to the birthday. I'm sure Taylor stabbed someone with a fork, plastic fork, by the way, everyone, family show and all that. It goes absolutely everywhere. It is just it's a car crash in a great way. of a main event. It was fabulous. Obviously, Kelly Six been the champion for around 700 days, I think, at the time of this going out, and it was hellacious. It was fun. It just had everything. During the end of the match, however, a masked man appears and takes out everyone except Taylor James. A fidget spinner, a kick out, a second fidget spinner, the one, the two, the three, and Taylor James becomes the new RCWA World Champion. The man removes the mask, and who is it? Jack Torino, a former Rebellion stablemate who Taylor James kicked out of Rebellion a little while ago, at least at the earlier part of the year. What has happened there? Why has Jack once again sold his soul to wanted Taylor James? We're going to have to find this out because, quite frankly, I didn't expect that. The fans in attendance didn't expect it. And Jack Torino, you come on this very show, was very emotionally distraught at the fact that Taylor had kicked you out of Rebellion not too long ago. And you've now realigned yourself with the devil himself, that is Taylor James, and gifted him the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, that didn't necessarily end proceedings at Fangs for the Memories because Kelly Six, who was the champion, like I said, for a very, very long time, gets the microphone and comes on and says that, this year has been 2025 or nothing from him. He has aspirations. He wants to reach Revolution Pro Wrestling full time. And he did say that it was very unlikely that that was to happen in the remaining time that we had left of the year. And when he said 2025 or nothing, if he doesn't make it, he retires from wrestling. But if he was going to retire and December the 20th was going to be his last RCWA show, he wanted it to be against the best of the best in the country. So he called out the best of the best in the country. Anybody, he said, basically, that wants to step in the ring with Kelly Six can do so at December the 20th. Well, a distorted voice comes over the speakers and accepts that challenge and ended with Kelly Six. Now we play, which means RCWA becomes RCW Now We Play, because at the 12 Bumps of Christmas, December the 20th, it's going to be Kelly Six against possibly the biggest breakout star in the UK in many since Will Ospreay, really. The master of the half crab, Michael Oku, has accepted Kelly Six's challenge for December the 20th. Guys, that is worth ticket money alone. Tickets will go on sale very soon for the 12 Months of Christmas show at the Harris Academy in Raynham. Just make sure you ring that ticket line when they do, because they're not going to last much longer when they're out. Because when you've got people like Michael Oku, Kelly Six, CPF, Taylor James, the Rebellion, you're going to have one hell of a show on December the 20th. So make sure you are there to watch the 12 Bumps of Christmas. We will be there. Make sure you are too. Coming up on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast tomorrow, you will see the next TNA exclusive interview with Knockout Zaya Brookside. On Wednesday, you will see the DKW review show from the Stronger Things 4 show that we attended this past weekend as well. NWA. Saturday night's main event this week as well. We will crown a new WWE World Champion, where it be CM Punk or Jey Uso. We'll have all of that coverage and so much more on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Just don't forget to follow us at HTT Buckle on X, HTT Buckle on YouTube, and Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast on all other social media outlets, or go onto the Wrestling Edge podcast as well, and you'll see us there. But until then, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.